Society has ingrained this whole six-figure thing, but did you guys know that only 18% of Americans earn six figures? So, based on pure math, how many available single men earn over six figures? 18% of the US, you guys, of working adults. So, can the traditional family even exist? Incomes are not moving at the same pace as expenses. I mean, should we talk about that first? Then we have people who identify as kittens. So I don't even know how you can procreate with someone who thinks they're a freaking cat. Qualified people cannot seem to secure a job, aka mass layoffs, and they continue to send jobs overseas. Check out my video where I talked about how Gen Z is so impacted by this. Then we have the average person only has $5,000 in their savings account. So how can you possibly save for a down payment? A $600,000 house today was just $350 5 years ago. And listen, throw the super low rates out the window. Let's assume both homes have the same rate. That $600,000 house would have had a $3,000 mortgage when it was $350. Today, that same house has a $4,700 mortgage. That is a 56% increase. Did your income increase 56% over the last 5 years? If one of these things resonate with you, then buying a home with your family may be for you. And if this is not for you, this may be where you can help relieve some pressure from that sweet mom or grandmom of yours. Okay? I don't see this trend going anywhere. And of anything, it will probably help push prices up because now you guys have another strategy. You guys have some options. So how many of you are or would like to buy a home with your siblings, your parents, your adult children? Like, for me, I would not be shocked if I ended up buying another home with an in-law suite because I get the concept. Like, you have your house here, then they're close enough, but they're not in your house. Because listen, my mom, she loves visiting our house. She loves being in the mix. She likes being here. And I get it. And a lot of perks come with that. And the thing is, perks do not always have to be money directly. Perks can be the indirect monetary or time-saving things like babysitting the kids, paying for versus paying for daycare, driving kids to practice, or helping to cook a meal or two, or fixing things around the house. And so I want you to keep that in mind with this whole multi-generational home buying strategy. When I look at data like this from the Pew Research Center, in 1971, only 7% of home purchases were multi-generational, whereas today we are almost at 20%. Like, listen, you guys are smart people, so I don't need to spend too much time on stating the obvious because in this video, we need to talk about how you and your loved ones can buy a home from a lender's perspective. But let's have some fun and recap, how do we get here? Because it is going to be interesting to see where this trend goes. When you look back to 1971, most of our parents were married, had decent paying jobs, had decently priced homes, versus today, it seems as if no one seems to get married, or are men or women even qualified to marry you? That's a whole nother conversation because back then it was 1000% expected for a man to be a provider, which in my opinion, I feel it still needs to be that way. But that's not what's happening today. The first thing you need to do is determine how you're going to take ownership. I know it's family and family blood is thicker than water, but I'm telling you, when it comes to money, people come out of a bag, okay? And the only way to mitigate any potential drama is to discuss and then document. I highly recommend you consult with an attorney on drafting the details around these key items. So the first thing is, who's coming up with a down payment? Who's paying the mortgage? Is there a split? If so, how much? How will you guys handle costs for repairs? Are you going to create a sink fund where you contribute a certain percentage every month to build it up so you can pull from it? How will you guys take tax deductions? What is your exit strategy if someone loses their income or wants to go in a different direction, or God forbid one of you die? How will you take title, aka whose name is going on the deed? Title is the ownership of real estate. There are different ways to take title, especially if you're married. But because we are talking about multi-generational home buying, your options would be tenancy in common or joint tenancy or trust. Now, let me take you guys to school on title because I don't think people talk about title enough, okay? Tenancy in common would mean shares can be unequal and a deceased owner's share goes to their heirs, not the other owners. Joint tenancy is where all co-buyers have equal ownership rights regardless of their financial contributions. And one of the biggest things with joint tenancy is a right of survivorship. So if one co-owner dies, their share automatically transfers to their surviving co-owners rather than their deceased heirs or whoever's stated in their will. A trust is another video. There's so many details with that. However, if you guys would like to talk about the benefits of putting your home in a trust, let me know and I can have one of my attorney friends on here so we can dive into greater detail about that. And so if you ever need to crunch numbers while you're in this planning phase with your family or your attorney, my team and I can always help you and support and crunch numbers because I know a lot of retirees, you may think you cannot qualify. However, we have so many loan programs where we can create income to qualify you for more home than you think. So how can you get approved for a mortgage to achieve this multi-generational home buying? I want to clarify that this strategy is about those looking to buy homes to live in. I do not recommend people buying investment properties together as a group because the juice is just not worth the squeeze. I don't know, the internet has everyone wanting to acquire investment properties just all the time, which I understand why. Okay, to have someone pay the mortgage, then honestly, it's a great retirement strategy. However, like I said, if you're buying investment properties with a partner, maybe two partners, but I'm seeing on the internet, people are buying investment properties with 5, 6, 7 people. Like, why? Let's say, and this is, I'm jumping out the window with this one. Let's say for one property, you go in with 7 people and your profit is only $500,000. Divide that by 7. After you pay taxes, after you pay the realtor, etc., you walk away with what? Like, okay, 80 grand. You could have put that into the stock market. You could have put that into the S&P 500 and not have to deal with tenants, repairs, potential drama. Like, okay, so I had to get that out clearly because I'm like, what are people doing? And so back to the people buying homes to live in, okay? Firstly, you do not need to go on the mortgage if it's not needed. I repeat, you do not have to go on the mortgage if it is not needed. As in, if you are someone who will make the situation worse. I say this respectfully. If you're going to make it worse, don't do it. If you are someone with bad credit, it will not work because 9 times out of 10, we are going to use the qualifying credit score of the person with the lowest credit score. Now, there are ways to get around this. There are loan programs to get around this. If you're doing at least a 20% down payment, that's a whole nother conversation. But if you're not, for the masses, we will use the person who have the lowest credit score. Lastly, we can most definitely pool incomes together to help you qualify for more home. If you're a W-2 employee, we just need 30 days pay stubs, last 2 years of W-2s, last 60 days of bank statements. If you're retired, then pension statement or monthly benefit statements. If you have out of the box type of income, we can use bank statement only. We can do asset depletion loans where we create a calculation based on assets, cash in the bank. We can even do no income doc loans, okay? If this is something that you and your family are considering, all I'm saying is you definitely have options. So my question to you is, do you see yourself doing this, you guys? What do you think about this rising trend? A pretty much needed trend. For the reasons stated above, I don't see this trend going anywhere. And if anything, it will probably help push prices up because now you guys have another strategy. You guys have some options. So if this sounds like something for you, My contact information is in the description below. Book some time on my calendar so we can get you pre-approved or take a preliminary conversation. We offer mortgage lending nationwide, as well as a book of the best realtors in your community. And I just want to say thank you guys for watching my video. It's been a while, but I'll see you in the next one.